there is some really active, dynamic astrology happening this weekend. So I thought I would come on for a few minutes this morning to talk about it. There is a lot happening. There are a lot of potentials. It's a good weekend to really pay attention to what's happening around you. And I say that also sort of as a reminder to slow down. It's a good weekend to go really slowly because I'm going to talk about a few different things, but let's start by talking about this really dynamic Aries energy in the sky. So we have a lot of planets in Aries, as you can see. The sun has recently moved into Aries, and it is coming right now. It is in pretty much exact conjunction with Venus retrograde. I just want to move this over a little bit so we can see a little better. And Mercury is also retrograde in Aries. And we have Chiron in Aries, which has been there for quite a while, offering a bit of a healing signature to what's happening. So it's very sort of conflicting to have all of this movement in Aries and two retrogrades, because Aries loves to charge forward. Aries loves to make things happen and go on instinct. And that's part of why the sun is exalted in Aries, because the sun gets to behave in that sort of instinctual, leader, courageous way that it would love to show up when in Aries. And so it's the best position for Aries. But Venus and Mercury are both retrograde here right now. And that signature is more of a slowing down, a going back, revising, rethinking, redoing, revisiting. And so it can sort of feel a little bit like being on the gas and the brake at the same time. We really want to charge forward right now, but then it's something wiser within us is sort of pulling us back. We are really in the heart this weekend of the Venus retrograde. I'm actually going to shrink our circle here for a second in order to really highlight this aspect. Sorry, I realize I just moved the camera. Excuse my immature setup here. Okay, so the most important aspect of what's happening in Aries right now, this weekend, is that the sun is in conjunction with that Venus retrograde. And this is interesting. It's really the heart of this Venus retrograde this weekend. And so that means so many different things. There could be a lot happening beneath the surface, sort of emotionally, that you might not even really be fully conscious of. So if there are a lot of feelings coming up or thoughts about the past, you may be even having memories of things that happened in the past, rethinking things that happened in the past in a new and different way. Pay attention to any of that because it might have a message for you, right? If you find yourself lingering on some relationship theme from the past, something you used to do, or a relationship itself, it's really good to pay attention to that because it might have a message for you. The thing about the Venus retrograde cycle is that, and since we're in the heart of it this weekend, this is sort of extra important right now. It's about relationships partially. There are other things too, but in terms of the relationship piece, when we have that retrograde, it causes us to really lean in a thoughtful direction toward our relationships. It's not about taking action and actually moving things forward. It's about gaining insight. And the fact that this is happening while we are also in the eclipse window, we just had an eclipse in Virgo about a week and a half ago. And we're going to have, oh no, it wasn't even that long ago. It was just a few days ago. And we're going to have another one in Aries very, very soon on the 29th. So what's interesting about that, in combination with this Sun conjunct Venus retrograde this weekend, is that with eclipses are more about things that actually happen in the world, not so much this internal process of the Venus retrograde, but it tends to be more externalized events. So we see a lot happening in the collective, for example. There tends to be a lot that happens in the news. But in terms of our own lives, um, a eclipse window, when we're in that period between the two, like we are this weekend, it can, in terms of relationships, it can help to push forward relationships that are going well and things in your life that are going well. And if something needs to be corrected, it can push that forward too, right? It sort of moves. During an eclipse window, we make progress on different issues. If there's something that's off, we might get a course correction, right? So um, you might, a gig might dry up. You know, there might be the ending of a job, for example, but it's to make way. We can take comfort if that happens during an eclipse window, that it's to make way for something better. Or it it might just be that I shouldn't even have used an example, because really what I'm saying is that in terms of Venus retrograde, combining these two energies and thinking about it in terms of our relationships, issues that are coming up now are with relationships that need issues to come up now. And if there aren't problems, you probably won't have problems. So, if there are places where your thoughts or feelings or events in your life, things that are actually happening, if there are places where um, where things are being stirred, slow down, go slow, pay attention, trust that this is coming up to help you learn something. And that should always be true, right? There's no danger in assuming that ever. That conflicts, stress, difficulties are there to help us learn and grow in some way. There to challenge us, to help us go up against our edge. But yeah, if something's being stirred right now, it's because there's healing that needs to happen. And if things are feeling calm, that's a really good sign that you're on the right path. And with eclipses, there could even be some happenings that sort of push those situations forward and take them a little bit up a notch to the next level. There's also something just so courageous about all of this Aries energy. I want to make this circle big again. And you know what? I'm actually going to include Pisces in it for a second now, because I want to talk about that too. Um, there's something very courageous about all this Aries energy too. So I just want to mention that. Isn't courage something that can be used for good or bad? So if you're feeling courageous, if you're feeling brave, channel that into something constructive where you can this weekend. This is a really great weekend for getting projects done, for moving tasks forward, because Saturn, well, Mars really, is coming back into this trine with Saturn. So Mars is direct now in Cancer and has reached the 20th degree. It's so nice. Cancer was sitting at 17 degrees or Mars was sitting at 17 degrees of Cancer for like a month. And so now Mars is moving forward and is coming into this trine again with Saturn. And Mars and Saturn working together in a harmonious trine actually helps us to get stuff done. It can be very, very productive. It can be really great for taking action, for taking practical action, for getting like work done. So anything like that you're doing could be really good. I also think a really constructive way to use this energy is related to this Venus or this eclipse in Virgo. And that would be, and all this energy in Pisces, that would be about letting go and clearing out and cleaning and, like physically cleaning your space, organizing it, donating some things, getting more organized, spring cleaning. It's an amazing weekend for spring cleaning. I think this actually works too with working on your taxes, sort of getting things in order, getting things in line. I always think it's nice to work on taxes once we've had uh, that Virgo lunation, um, because it just lends that practical support. Anyway, there's as much as there's all this beautiful Aries energy that we were talking about, all this forward moving, but also contemplative, it's sort of heavy and there's a lot of energy to that Aries stuff. There's also a ton going on in Pisces right now. And that can feel heavy and emotional and confusing. It can also be really dreamy and relaxing. It's a great time to do that, to escape with music or a book, or a movie. Those are positive escapism tendencies with Pisces. Anything with water, walking near water, even taking a drive along the water. And if you do find yourself near water, really looking at it, really appreciating it. It sounds silly, but even water coming out of the faucet, there's something soothing about that at this time. So, but I just want to say, I think there's so much going on in Aries. There's all that relationship energy, all that processing that we were just talking about, and all this work being done. And then at the same time, there's all this energy in Pisces that's so emotional, and that's like thinking about things from the past and letting go of what isn't going to work into this new era. I think there's a real feeling right now that we're at the beginning of spring. I just did a video, I'll attach it here at the end, which we're getting to soon, about uh, the astrological new year, which happens when the sun moves into Aries. And I think we feel that right now more than ever. It really feels like a new year. This is a great time to set intentions for the future, to be easy on yourself and take care, to go a little bit extra slowly, to get some work done, to pay attention to what's happening around you, and also just to trust that the things that are coming up are meant to come up. I really appreciate you all being here. I will attach a few videos at the end that are relevant right now as well. And I also have horoscopes on my channel that are pretty detailed for March, and I'm working on April right now. So be sure to check those out. And just thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful day. I'll be back again soon.